Boom! Welcome back. Today, we're talking about Thall. That's right, one of my favorite genres out there in the metal scene. And to represent this beautiful genre, we have the band Hacktivist with their new album, Hyperdialect.
I'm hyperdialectic, looking at life from a whole new perspective. Pigs talk shit, my hearing selective. When I'm on a mic, the vibe gets aggressive. Me and these dudes, we don't sound symmetric.
Quickly before we get into the video, just like to let you guys know, my new EP just dropped Ghidorah, so I'll leave a link down below as well as up here if you want to go check it out and support the channel. If you like Thall, if you like rap, you like trap beats, you might want to give this EP a chance. So besides that, I'll go back to the review. So Hacktivist is a band formed in 2011 in Milton Keynes, and they bring together the two genres we all know and love, and that's rap and metal music. And they do it in a way that I don't think many rap metal bands have done before. Now, I know what you're thinking, rap metal, we're not going into uncharted territories here, and you're right. But what I found is that with Hacktivist is that they take it up a notch. They crank that gain to the max because this is Thall, and it is dumb, but it's fun as well. Now, I always thought Thall was a great genre to combine rap with. I always just found the beats and the breakdowns, the writing in Thall to just make that bit of extra sense when it comes to more of a hip-hop style flow over top. And this is, I guess, the perfect case study to demonstrate that. Kicking off this album, we have the track Anti-MCs, which has this really beautiful, lush, orchestral start with these samples used to really build a scene, to create some atmosphere, giving this sort of like a Roman Colosseum vibe. And then out of nowhere, boom, we get Thall with these chunky, heavy,
down-tuned riffs
that hit you square in the face, and you're bleeding. You're bleeding out already, and we're barely even one track in. It's got this groove to it that's taking from the more new metal inspirations and combining it with the Thall influence of mainly being ridiculously low tuned, has this really nice sort of sound bed for the vocalist to rap over. And with this groove, the rap and grime style of vocals really sits well and it flows really well because it just locks up and it sounds so good. I have to admit, on this album, sometimes the vocals don't always match the instrumentation that they're trying to, rap over. And I'm not even gonna blame them because, let's be honest, Thall, a genre that very much disconnected as fuck. And even though the vocals aren't screams or growls, they still have this ridiculous level of aggression that you can still feel that emotion and pain in the voice and the anger pushing through. It's a different type of emotional screaming, but it is still really tight. And that's pretty much what I can say about this entire album. It has really good flow attached to some really good riff writing as well. Definitely there's moments where the writing goes down the more gentler side, and that's fine. It's a bit more choppy, a bit more syncopated, but then it always comes back to the more Thallier stuff as well, with the low tune clashing with the really high tune stuff as well. One particular track I really liked is also the track Armored Core, which had this really cool sort of main riff that was bouncy, it was aggressive, and it was familiar enough that you'd always remember it when it came back around, so you could always join in with the aggression, and of course had a really catchy chorus for everybody to sing along to. On top of that, we also have the title track, Hyperdialect, and we got some fast rapping, we got some heavy riffs, and also we have a feature from Aaron Matz of Betraying the Martyrs, which, not gonna lie, I didn't see it coming because I wasn't really looking at the track list when I was listening to the album. And when it did, I didn't even notice that it was a guest feature. It felt so in tune with what was happening in the music that I didn't think twice. His growls and screams are aggressive and insane, but they're not overblown and overly disgusting that it sort of just takes you out of the whole feel of the album. So really happy with that. Aaron Matz, great feature, and it just worked really well. And probably one of the most cool sections of the album, which I didn't expect coming at all, was on the track How Dare You Exist, where we get like 10 seconds of straight up polyphia. I know it's not polyphia, but it's so polyphia-esque that I'm just like, what? It took me for a loop, and I was just taken out of it. And then put back in, I was just like, did I just get a polyphia moment in this? And damn, it worked. And surprising enough, it really worked. It fit. And it kept that sort of dynamic way of writing to keep the listener, in the zone. Because not gonna lie, with A lot of the tracks, there was moments where I was getting a bit bored. I found the riffs getting a bit repetitive, lacking variety. But then every time I sort of got to the cusp of feeling that, there was always something new that came in, took over, and brought it back to like, wow, this is amazing. Yeah. I like this new riff. I like what you're doing here. What I also like is the fact that the dynamics make sense for the genre because it is combining writing that is found in rap and grime music as well, where you'll have the main MC, rapping, and there might not be a lot happening in the background because we're trying to focus on the MC. And that happens here, really works. It gives more weight when the guitars and the whole instrumentation section comes in, and it just gives you that impact. When it comes to the mix, I didn't have many issues. I think the mix was really well done. The drums were having this great foundation, but not too overbearing. And the guitars, even though they were ridiculously heavy and in your face, they still left some room for the things above it to sit. But overall, what can I say about this album is that it is a fun ride start to finish between the samples that they use along the main writing of music, the low tuneness, the variety, the dynamic range, and overall it is just a fun ride, and it shows that rap and metal can work in a very cohesive and synergetic fashion without it sounding weird. But anyway, with all that being said, I'll be giving this album a 8 out of 10. Really had fun with this. So anyway, those were my thoughts. Write down below, what did you think of the album? Did you like it? Did you not? Of course, give this video a like if you enjoyed it, and subscribe to keep up to date on all the content. And besides that, I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye.